Nebraska's evolving media landscape, consolidation, challenges, and the future of local journalism. Nebraska's media environment is undergoing profound changes, shaped by corporate consolidation, declining revenues, shifting ownership, and the rise of digital alternatives. Once dominated by independent local newspapers and broadcast stations, the state now faces growing concerns about news deserts, areas with limited or no access to reliable local reporting. This transformation affects how Nebraskans receive information on community issues, politics, agriculture, and daily life, raising questions about diversity of viewpoints, depth of coverage, and the health of democratic discourse. At the heart of these shifts is widespread consolidation among traditional media outlets. Major companies have acquired smaller publications, leading to centralized operations and reduced staff. Lee Enterprises, a Davenport, Iowa-based firm, stands out as a dominant player. The company owns approximately 12 daily and weekly newspapers in Nebraska, including flagship titles like the Omaha World Herald and Lincoln Journal-Star. Nationally, Lee operates in 73 markets across 26 states, but financial pressures have forced significant cutbacks. In recent years, the company reported substantial losses, prompting layoffs, such as 8 positions at the World Herald and 6 at the Journal-Star in one round, and operational changes, including eliminating Monday print editions for several dailies. These moves reflect broader industry trends. Declining print advertising revenue and subscription numbers have hit legacy newspapers hard, while digital transitions have not fully compensated for the losses. Experts note that consolidation often results in economies of scale, but at the cost of local depth. Studies, including those from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, have mapped the state's news ecosystem, identifying 9 counties with no local news organizations and 43,000 residents lacking access to any nearby journalist. Rural areas, such as Bartlett in Wheeler County or Harrisburg in the Panhandle, are particularly affected, leaving communities reliant on distant or statewide sources. Broadcast media tells a similar story. Flood Communications, founded by Mike Flood, a former Nebraska legislature speaker and current U.S. congressman, has grown into one of the state's largest independent operations. The company owns multiple radio stations across Norfolk, Nebraska City, Beatrice, and Omaha, as well as television outlets under News Channel Nebraska and Telemundo Nebraska. Emphasizing local news, sports, and community involvement, Flood's network reaches wide audiences, including the Hispanic community through Spanish-language programming. It positions itself as a connector of Nebraskans, focusing on unifying stories rather than divisive ones. Public media provides another pillar. Nebraska Public Media, operated by the University of Nebraska, delivers statewide television, radio, and digital content through NPR and PBS affiliations. It covers news, education, and cultural programming, reaching most of the state and parts of neighboring regions. However, public outlets face their own challenges, including potential federal funding cuts that could impact operations. Amid these changes, new nonprofit and digital models have emerged to fill gaps. The Nebraska Examiner, part of the National States Newsroom Network, offers free online coverage focused on state politics, policy, and investigative reporting. Funded through grants and donations from various foundations and organizations, it claims editorial independence while providing in-depth stories on topics like education funding, environmental issues, and legislative developments. Other initiatives, such as the Flatwater Free Press and the Nebraska Journalism Trust, aim to sustain independent journalism through nonprofit structures and collaborations. Experts argue that while consolidation has reduced local staffing and original reporting, it has not always introduced overt political bias in coverage. Research on similar acquisitions elsewhere, including Sinclair Broadcast Group's past purchases of Nebraska TV stations, found that depth of local stories often suffers more than ideological slant. Newspapers still produce a disproportionate share of original reporting, accounting for about 50% nationally despite comprising only 25% of the media landscape. Yet concerns persist about ownership concentration. Larger chains like Lee Enterprises prioritize profitability, sometimes leading to shared content across publications and fewer hyperlocal stories. Regional buyers, such as Carpenter Media Group, have acquired family-owned groups like Enterprise Media Group in Blair, creating clustered networks for efficiency. This dynamism has kept some papers alive but altered their independent character. Nebraskans continue to value local news. Statewide studies show residents trust newspaper advertising and content more than social media alternatives. Weekly readership reaches hundreds of thousands, bolstered by digital editions and e-newsletters. Community involvement remains strong in surviving outlets, from covering high school sports to investigative pieces on state issues. Looking ahead, the media landscape will likely feature a mix of consolidated legacy players, growing nonprofits, and independent broadcasters. Challenges like brain drain of young journalists and harassment from polarized rhetoric make retention difficult. However, innovations in digital delivery and partnerships, such as the Midwest Newsroom Collaborative, offer hope for revitalized coverage. Ultimately, a vibrant media ecosystem is essential for informed communities. As Nebraska navigates these changes, supporting diverse sources, through subscriptions, donations, or engagement, can help ensure local stories continue to be told by neighbors, for neighbors. The evolution is ongoing, but the commitment to quality journalism endures as a cornerstone of the state's civic life.